Are AI agents worth your $1 million investment? Let's find out. Hey, everybody. I just wanted to touch on AI agents today. I wanted to spend 10 or 15 minutes of our time discussing AI agents because they are everywhere. Everyone is talking about them. Everybody wants to know everything about them. And, well, if you were like me, I wanted to know too. I wanted to know the ins and outs of it. I wanted to know what it was because I had kept my head down in my job for so long that these AI agents kind of came up and they are right there. So let's go ahead and figure out what exactly is an AI agent. So AI agents, all they are autonomous processes that will operate without needing that human intervention. So say you have a chatbot and you want a customer to be able to message that chatbot and to schedule a booking, right? So the customer would message the chatbot, would be like, hey, schedule me for an appointment on, say, Friday the 3rd, right? Whatever. So they would do that, and a normal chatbot that wouldn't have any of that AI agent would be like, sure, scheduling for whatever, but nothing happens, right? Because that chatbot doesn't have those integrations. They don't have that API backing, and they don't have the actual configuration to then go and do that. And so that's that difference between an AI agent versus just like a normal chatbot. And then there's also AI agent things for everything, right? Because that's kind of just a one-off small example. Things like CI/CD agents for automated deployment, huge. All right. Things like AI agents for social media content. That is also huge. People are automating their social media posts and generating like LinkedIn posts back to back. And I've even personally tried it for my business, Bluegrass Cloud, trying to automate that social media content. So enticing, right? Why is it not enticing to try and automate and get that workload off of you? But that's also the benefit and the downside of AI agents, right? Is it's removing that manual labor that a lot of people are doing. And so that's one of the major concerns with these AI agents is that job displacement. Are you going to lose your job because an AI agent is just going to automate the process? Well, I mean, that's a huge question, right? That's a huge concerning question and a very serious one that we need to dive into. All right. So before we really dive into some of those technicals of AI agents, we kind of need to step back just a little bit. Let's go ahead and discuss why. Why do we have these AI agents? And you can sit there and say, oh, it was the lizard people of the government that were just coming in and wanting to get rid of our jobs and displace humanity, right? No. The reason we have AI agents is because in our industry, the IT industry, there are always three things that every single person has always pushed for: efficiencies, cost reduction, and automation. Those are the three things that we have always strived for, especially being in the cutting edge with DevOps, cloud, anything. Those are the big three, man. And that AI agents kind of meets all of that. It is efficient, it is autonomous, and it actually can reduce costs, especially when you're looking at those labor costs that it could be displacing, frankly. It is cheaper, right? But I will make the argument, because I do see a lot of people that are concerned with that don't actually consider that the AI agent isn't there to replace your job. It's going to become your tool. That AI agent is going to free up your tedious manual work, sitting there going through logs every single day, sitting there running that script, going in there and just clicking run script, right, when it needs to run, freeing you up from that so that you can then put your actual human work into something more productive. And so that's kind of where the AI agents are right now, is that they're not actually going to be replacing your job. They're just going to be a tool that you use going forward in your job. And so now that we kind of have a framework of an AI agent, let's go ahead and talk about exactly what the pros and the cons of these agents are, and then we'll get into some more of the more details about whether or not it's going to be right for you. All right, so benefits of these AI agents. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? We kind of already touched on why we have the AI agents and all that, right? It's the efficiency, it's that cost reduction, it's that automation. But I do want to also add that scalability and flexibility, right? Because these AI agents, they automate those routine tasks, but they are just serverless infrastructure 99% of the time. And so they can scale up and they can scale down. Say you have an application that takes advantage and boom, you got 1 million users. Well, if you wrote it right, that AI agent will scale. Whereas you yourself running that workload, if you got 1 million users, you couldn't make 1 million of yourself to then go and do that, right? And so that scalability and flexibility is another huge bonus to those AI agents. But like I said, AI agents are not perfect. Nothing is perfect. There are some serious consequences and there are some serious challenges to them. And those are absolutely worth addressing, especially the big one, right? We already touched on it briefly, but that workforce impact, the job loss, replacing people's jobs, the skills involved in that, Those are very serious concerns when it comes to these AI agents, and it's something that you can't just ignore when you're going to have this conversation. And so, like I had said in reference to that, the workforce thing of it being a tool and not necessarily replacing your job entirely, a lot of that can also be put on you, because you can make the argument that, well, eventually these AI agents will get so good that they will be able to do your entire job. And then that becomes on you, whether or not you can reskill and upskill yourself to fit a role in this evolving world, right? Because AI is here, these agents are here, and they're not going anywhere, right? This is already ingrained, this is already becoming standard. And for you and your business itself, they will be implemented in your business. Like, there's no way around it. You can't ignore the abilities of these AI agents anymore. Now, let's talk about some consequences or issues with these AI agents that a lot of people don't talk about. How about the first one? Like, one that's frankly weird that I don't see that many people talking about: the security of it. These AI agents are, brand new. They utilize workloads and databases and structures and APIs and all these things. They're all attack vectors, right? Like, anybody anywhere can find that little niche in the armor and then just absolutely take advantage of it. And so that security risk, that is a huge thing that needs to be addressed. And then you also have the concern of these AI agents is that the implementation hurdles, right? They are incredibly complicated tools, from all the API integrations to the step functions to Lambda this, Lambda code that, automate this, input, output, recycle, export, hit this API. Like, there are so many moving steps in that. And then being DevOps or CI/CD or anybody in the industry, you want to do infrastructure as code, right? So then you have to take all of those steps, all of that, and then you have to write that back as a infrastructure as code script, right? So you can put it into your Terraform, or if you're doing something like a CloudFormation, right? That's a lot to maintain. And when it comes to that much to maintain on it, then you start talking about over-reliance on the technology, right? Being too dependent on that AI system. The vulnerabilities that come with that, or the errors, like if it fails, and then the troubleshooting. There are so many different levels to this that, frankly, that is going to be your major downside, right? Is that there's so much to it. So now that we kind of talked about the benefits and the downsides and drawbacks of all this AI agents, the best way to really gauge whether or not it's going to be worth it, if the benefits outweigh those downsides, or if those downsides outweigh those benefits, is to really just look at some real world examples. And I have one here: Flexport's autonomous CI/CD agents. So Flexport essentially implemented these autonomous agents to manage millions of changes weekly. All right, so their CI/CD pipeline was funneling changes constantly, and they were having a lot of that human insight and intervention for a lot of those processes. And those AI agents were able to step in there and basically just handled all that high volume, all those complex tasks within a live business environment. And it was a huge success. There are tons of documentations and case studies specifically on this Flexport, and I'll link some of those below for you to go check out if you want. What exactly did Flexport learn? Well, they basically were able to measure their outcomes. Provisioning times for their systems, required deployments and updates significantly reduced. Cost savings. They also lowered their operational expenses significantly, reducing that manual intervention and optimizing their workflows like exponentially. The cost savings were real. And then they also reduced their policy violations, so that they improved their compliance and fewer errors, right? Because it's automated and it's rule-based. So that AI agent is already following certain rules. And so because of that, they were able to improve that compliance significantly. And so what would Flexport have learned from all this? And the real thing that you learn from this is just going to be balancing those benefits and those risks. Effective AI deployment requires managing that trade-off between those technological gains and then those operational risks. And then also continuous monitoring. You do need to have ongoing oversight so that you can quickly identify and mitigate issues when they happen. Because, well, as we all know in IT, issues will happen, and you have to be able to compensate for that. Are AI agents worth it to you? Is it really worth the investment into these AI agents? And well, frankly, it's kind of up to you. It's very personal. It's whether or not you want to take that leap, that investment into it. Well, from all of the things that we discussed, the benefits, the efficiencies, the automation, to the consequences, the human reduction, to the security concerns, to the over-reliance on technology, AI agents, they're not going anywhere. I would say that for 99% of the businesses, if not this year, but in 5 years' time, you will have an AI agent. And it's whether or not you're going to jump on the ship now, or you're just going to be forced to jump on it later because of pressures from your competitors or anything like that, because they are here to stay. And so it's better just to get ahead of the curve instead of fall behind the curve. If your competitor comes out and they are saving money, they are optimizing faster, and they are deploying their product quicker and better, I mean, you're going to be left behind. So all in all, in conclusion from this, the benefits, you get efficiency gains, you get cost reduction, you get to be able to scale and be flexible, you kind of get that competitive advantage from all of those. And then you also do have those challenges, right? The workforce displacement, those security risks, integration hurdles, right? Over reliance on technology. There are going to be downsides to it, but it's really that balance between benefit versus challenge and whether or not that's going to be worth it. And overall, for you and your business, whether it's now or in 5 years, you will be implementing some kind of AI technology or AI agent in your system, because if you don't, your competitor will. And so it's better to jump on now than to never. If you're interested in this and you want to do an AI agent, but you're not sure where to start, you're not sure how to integrate it, you're not sure what workflows or anything about it, right? You can contact me on Bluegrass Cloud. Just go to the website, click contact us, fill out a little form. I will sit down with you for a free consultation and we will take a look at it. I will take a look at your organization, your structures, everything, and we can try and help identify any of these situations to where we can optimize and we can integrate those AI agents for you. So that's about all I have for you guys today. If you have any questions, any concerns, anything like that, or if you want to pick apart everything I said and point out everything wrong or integrate, please leave it down below in the comments, and hopefully everybody can have a nice conversation. All right, thank you guys very much, and I will see you in the next one.